right, this is a CNN News 18 mega exclusive. We are learning that this morning large number of Hindus came out in Dhaka to protest against the killing of minority Hindus in Bangladesh. These groups have also protested against the destruction of Hindu temples. Upset protesters were holding placards that read, "Hindus have a right to live." Similarly, large number of protesters have also gathered in Chittagong, and they also demanded safety and security from the government and world organizations as well. Remember, these protests are quickly escalating from outside Bangladesh. In fact, let's quickly go across to Anand Narasimhan of CNN News 18, who's joining me on the phone line. Anand, a very good evening. Clearly, these protests all the way from Dhaka now till New York, they are only escalating by the day.
Yes, sir. I think the voices, good evening, Akanksha, and to our viewers. The fact is that the voices are coming out, and there's just one single message that we are Bangladeshis, we are human beings, and there cannot be a targeted killing of us because of our faith and what we choose to believe in. And this is something where the voices are unilaterally coming across, and they're uniting together, and they are raising their voice. The Prime Minister also, soon after the induction of Mohammed Yunus as the interim caretaker Prime Minister, had said the same thing: ensure the safety of religious minorities, especially Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, and others in Bangladesh. And the world over, there are leaders who have now spoken up. Raja Krishnamurti has spoken with us at CNN News 18, raising his concerns. There are others who are coming out and saying it. And worldwide, there are Hindu groups which are coming out and saying that you cannot loot, plunder, murder, and target somebody basis their religion, and their safety is important. Minority safety is important. But those who are supposedly minority champions and champions of minority issues the world over continue to retain their silence. They remain silent. Hopefully, they are watching the visuals in Dhaka, where the limited population, the shrinking population of Hindus have now at least come out. There is a huge number there in thousands who have come there, Akanksha, but they are a shrinking number over the decades.
Anand, have these protests also exposed the Western hypocrisy? Because remember, the larger parts of the governing dispensation, whether in the United Kingdom or the US, have remained silent. Only after the protests, we've heard UN also now coming out to condemn.
True, and it's manifest in the media headlines. Look at the New York Times headlines that was taken exception to the world over, and they had to change and revise their headline. Would they have dared to put a headline like this with respect to Palestine or Gaza? Would they have even considered or thought of putting out something like this with Afghanistan? So these are aspects which they have to, which the Western media now has to see, and somewhere a lot of this also gives wind to the whole conspiracy angle aspect that there is a West, deep state, and perhaps there are elements in the West who who have effected this regime change, and it's been orchestrated all around our neighborhood. And is it going to come and bite us closer home is another question. And also the hypocrisy of those within us in our own country who have a lot of tears and a lot of words to express for what's happening thousands of miles away in Gaza, but are absolutely mum and mute and are trying to gloss over and trying to even cover up what's happening right there in the neighborhood with a nation which has got a historical umbilical cord connection with us. This is erstwhile Bengal, and this is erstwhile East Bengal, this is erstwhile East Pakistan, and this is current day Bangladesh, whose liberation Bharat had a huge role to play with. So, and how is it that it's forgotten, and what's happening there? Minority rights are minority rights, whichever way, whichever country. Questions are also being asked of the UN, because they are also copying a lot of flack because of their silence all along for a long time before they even spoke up. The alacrity with which they reacted to what's happening in Palestine with Palestinians, or with what's happening in Gaza, and the slow motion kind of movement with what's happening in Bangladesh is another aspect.
All right.
There are a lot of conversations which are said that there was a clear attempt to even deflect the attention away from this telling issue on ground in Bangladesh.
All right, many thanks.
Bangladesh minority has come together and come out there and peacefully protested and expressed their anger at the way that they have been targeted and their people have been targeted.